Hey guys, I came out to Inconceivable this weekend to do a little more work, and it's raining. It's okay. Lynn on the phone is like, "Oh, you're camping." Yeah, it's totally camping. I'm camping on the boat. It's a big fiberglass tent. I can't do a lot of the work that I had planned on doing this weekend. I'm continuing to take the tow rail off. But I brought along the plans, so I kind of want to show you guys, get a little preview of what we have in store for our rebuild of Inconceivable. Did I mention we're rebuilding the interior of Inconceivable? So let's where am I going to do it? I'm going to make a little table here. This is actually a reduced size version of the rudder. Here's the lines drawing. And this is actually a low-res version of that drawing. All of these, the major structural and design drawings print out on large format 48 by 36 inch sheets at 1 inch per foot scale, which is super handy. Yeah. Let's show you that. Let's get into it. Alright, so here we have the sail plan of the C&C Corvette. And as far as I can tell, what Inconceivable has totally matches this. The height of the mast, lengths of all of the standing rigging, the positions of spreaders, everything on the plan is exactly the way Inconceivable exists. So except for a few things like we don't have a push pit. Oh, except the design of the cove stripe. The cove stripe includes the bow stern stripe, but not the C&C star and the dash that exists on pretty much every other C&C. There's a lot of interesting things about this boat that we don't know. A lot of this information just is gone. Back in this day, that things weren't stored on hard drives. They drew this, and it was printed on paper, and those plans had to be moved around and stored somewhere. C&C went out of business in the 80s, but there's things we don't know. Like this does not show any symbol on the sail. The sail we have, it's been repaired and stuff, but it can't be the original sail. But it has a symbol. I'll look to see if I have an image of it, and I'll put it up. For our purposes of rebuilding Inconceivable, it's super handy to have this. It even shows that, I think I mentioned it in an earlier video, the tow rail, the way it starts amidship, it's 1 inch all the way along until it gets to around the shrouds, and then it starts to flare to about 2.5 inches at the stem. It's a beautiful detail, and when you see the boat from the side, it's a beautiful little detail. Yeah, so this is really cool to have. There's some interesting stuff on this plan, like the sail. I think this is maybe a spec for a storm jib. I'm not really sure. I mean, they've got, if you look, where is it? Yeah, like right here, they've got a huge, maybe that's some kind of drifter. It's bigger than a 150 Genoa. Here's where the 150 Genoa would be. That line right there is the 150 Genoa. But they've got other ones. I think this is where the jib was. At least it came to about that point, and it was a very high-footed jib. Because I remember when I would be on a reach, the sail would be out, and it would not be touching the lifelines. I would kind of like to go back to this 105. The interesting thing about that is, in this drawing, the head does not go all the way up the stay. The head is, it's probably 8-9 feet from the... I don't know enough about sail design. I know that could possibly affect a better slot, but I think it should be, I don't know. Maybe I should talk to a sailmaker. Then we get into the cabin. This is cool stuff. Boom. This is our existing cabin layout. This is side-by-side berths. Galley's tucked here in this corner. Got the ice chest, what do they call it? Chart table ice box under. There's some weird things that we don't have, like there's a little locker listed here. Motor is different, but that's not uncommon. People change out the motors. Our boat was replaced with the diesel. Thank you, whoever did that. This shows the cabin sole straight across here, and then it kind of slopes upward to the V-berth. Our cabin sole basically goes straight across here. It hits this point, and then there's a little step. They probably did that because when you get up here, I've got 6 feet of headroom if I stand up right here. Actually, it's not 6 feet. I am not 6 feet anymore. I was 6 feet in high school. I'm more like 5'10". So there's 5'10" amidships here in the middle of the cabin. As I go forward, I still have headroom, and actually my headroom increases because if you look at the drawing, the cabin top slightly slopes up here, and it coincides with what is happening in reality. And to keep this straight, obviously you get a little more headroom up forward. That's awesome. Until you get to this point, and there's a funny little step. Here's where that step in, but I've got a hatch, so there's still good headroom. Sorry about the mess. So yeah, so I've got good headroom here, and I'm glad they made that modification when they actually went into production with this boat, because right about here I'd probably have to crouch down. Yeah, so this is the existing cabin. All of the stuff that's on this cabin plan is the way they built the boat. This was the most popular plan for cabins. Most Corvettes come with this plan. It's lighter. This is a lighter cabin layout. There's not a lot of furniture in this boat. Small galley, that saves a lot of weight. What we're doing now, because in the accident, all that damage that was along here, and all of this furniture came off. This bulkhead got pushed off. There's a crack along the back of the bulkhead. This bulkhead here, that busted off. So all of those pieces they basically have to come out. What we decided to do once all of that damage had been assessed, it was either just rebuild it as is or rethink the layout of the boat. The biggest complaint I've had about this boat has been the cabin layout. It's awkward. This galley underway, it's very difficult to use this galley. Yeah, so that's been a big complaint. The layout of the bunks is weird. It works kind of socially, because I'll put my head over here. Lynn puts her head over there. We talk to each other. That works. But they're a little short. If I've got a couple pillows and I fully stretch out, I can't. My feet are, even though this cuts underneath the water closet, my feet are hitting the bulkhead over there. Lynn's side, because of the way it's shaped, it's bigger at the end where her feet go, but it's very narrow up by her head. Her head's hitting this light. She's kind of wedged in. She's never complained, but the times I've used her bunk, I've been like, this is not comfortable. I guess my point is the designs of this cabin were for racers. It's light, minimal cabin space. It's comfortable enough so that in the middle of a long race, if your watch ends, you can come down here and fall asleep. But it's not designed for a couple and their dog, us, who want to go out and do some cruising. And that's my goal. My goal is to take this boat and go, weeks at a time somewhere and just live on this boat. In my head, since the day we bought this boat, I've been like, this is our first boat as a couple. But invariably I find myself on yachtworld.com going, Bristol Channel Cutter, or, Pacific Sea Craft, this, that, and the other. Because those are boats that are laid out for cruising. They've got a nice big saloon table and settee situation, usually a U shape or an L shape, and a proper galley on the other side. So you've got, seating, galley, and long story short, let me just show you. In amongst all of these drawings that we got was Ta-da! The settee cabin layout. And I had no idea that C&C did this. The difference is, it's a lot more furniture. It's a lot more furniture. You've got the settee itself that comes out almost to the center line of the boat with a big settee. It's a little bit. I think it's about the same length as Lynn's berth. The crowning beautiful jewel of it is this wonderful big galley, and it's a proper galley. You've got a lot of room to stand, to move around. You've got a lot of counter space to use. All of the storage is easily accessible. The storage, by the way, beneath here, there's a lot more storage on this boat. This whole section up here is storage. It's got a quarter berth, which I love a quarter berth. It got rid of this extra sink that we never use that's behind this bulkhead. It turns that whole thing into a hanging locker. It's going to get funny because there's certain things that are different that I don't think I'm going to change, like the conduit for the centerboard cable. The one we have, it goes up here. It's very high. We may just end up keeping this countertop up here. Right now the countertop is there. We're going to keep that. I also love this drawer that I have here. It's so convenient. If I'm in the cockpit and I need something like the winch handle for the centerboard, I just keep that in that drawer. So I can reach in, open that drawer, grab the winch handle, and it's very accessible. So I'll probably keep this countertop that height at least to here, maybe drop it down so that the quarter berth isn't as enclosed. It would be open on the top here, but I don't know. Once we get stuff ripped out, I'll know for sure. But the exciting thing, the thing that I'm most excited about is having a proper galley and a big settee that can double as a double bed. You know, drop the table down, boom, awesome. So yeah, so this is what I'm most excited about, and probably, actually, definitely going to take up a majority of our time rebuilding the interior. The exterior work is almost just cosmetic, and it's probably going to go super fast compared to this, because this is some serious cabinetry and furniture construction that I'm really looking forward to. It's the boat that I've wanted. This interior right here, it's going to be so comfortable. I'm super excited about it. Can you tell? So, anyway, that's the plan, man. I'm very excited about it. I've got other plans that came along with the set. There's a full-sized version on 36 by 48 of the stem head fitting. It includes details of the rudder. There's detailed cross-sectional drawings of hatches. There's a whole bunch of drawings, all large format, high-res scans. I'm excited. It's a handy resource to have. I'm super thrilled that that it became available through the Corvette users group. If you're just curious, you want to check it out, I think the website is the Corvette Sailing Association, and there's a lot of information on there about the origins of the boat. Okay, so I'm gonna finish my tea and figure out something. Maybe sit and watch YouTube's. There's a Tim B at Sea that I haven't watched. I'm gonna check that out. I like to stick with tradition. Am I in focus?